Good morning, good afternoon, good time of day it may be for you. Welcome back to the LAMDA log. This is the beginning of week three, day one, and I was looking at it, and there's not a lot of time in life. But week three, then we have week four, week five, week six, we start our performances. So, got 3 weeks until performances. Less than. Well, depends on when you're. Yeah. So, week three, day one, Monday, the 3rd of August. Happy birthday, Grayson. We had our warm up and our dance call and our song call, which is the beginning things. And then we had, I think we got this lovely email last night that I want to read because it's got some really good information in it. That's all about what we were talking about. Oh, maybe he sent it Monday night. Anyway, it's from Lawrence, and he says, Dear folks, I think I need to clarify the process more, as I think there is some possible confusion and I'm not being clear. Alex made a good suggestion today about using one tactic for each sentence rather than a tactic to punctuation. This is an excellent suggestion because some of you are worrying about playing the tactics rather than using them to deliver thoughts. Tactics are only there so that you do something to try to change the other character in the space. So you can start listening and responding to what you get back from the other character in a scene. Consequently, if you are present and listening, your responses will change and you will respond intuitively and organically according to your character's psychological profile, their needs and wants in the play. Tactics are not there to stop you listening. They're there to help you do something to try and change or affect the other characters in the scene. Emotion. There's a lot of confusion when I say do not play the emotion. That does not mean that you can't be emotional or that you can't feel emotional. Of course you can, but emotion is triggered by when you hear, by what you hear, by what you do to the other character. Let me read that sentence again. But emotion is triggered by what you hear, by what you do to the other character. It is triggered by how you respond to another character and how they respond to you. Emotion is the sensation generated by what you're trying to do and how you listen. It's not manufactured in a vacuum. It is not forced or dredged up from nothing. It is not pre-decided or predetermined. It is triggered by listening and doing. Some of you are getting stuck in your heads. Process is not head-based, it is practical-based. It is a practical process. If you are thinking about the process, then you are not engaging in listening and responding in the scene. Process is not academic or head-based, it is practical. If you are ticking off your tactics as you say the thought when on the rehearsal floor, then that is not process. You are blocking yourself. If you only think about what your scenic objective is, what you want before you enter when we are rehearsing, and then just listen and respond, then that is absolutely fine. Process is there to help, not hinder you. And you must choose what bits work for you. Endow every thought you have with meaning, with intention. Thoughts are not just words. Words carry meaning. What do you want to do with those words? How do you want those words to affect the other characters? That is what Shakespeare is about. Truth. If you believe what you're saying, then I'll believe what you're saying. If you do not believe what you're saying, then I won't believe what you're saying. If you're thinking you are being too big, then I will see you thinking you are being too big. If you demonstrate, I will see you demonstrating. Demonstration is being mannered, which is showing the audience rather than inhabiting the character and living their truth, walking in their footsteps and thinking their thoughts. You can be as big as you want as long as you believe it. If you are worried about being too big and therefore being untruthful, then that is what I receive as an audience. I receive censorship. I see you are blocking yourself. Remember, there is no hiding from an audience. If you're not thinking, then you are dead in the space. If you are not thinking, then you are not doing in the space. If you are not thinking, then you are not listening in the space. Thinking is the basis of everything. It triggers emotions and physical action. It triggers impulses to do, impulses to move. But you need to think as the character, not as the actor looking at the character. The actor inhabiting the world of the character. The actor thinking as the character. The actor doing as the character. Walk in the world of the character and their given circumstances. Of course, you won't be able to manage it all the time. Your thoughts will wander. But in reality, the great con trick of acting is that you can be thinking anything, but because the context for the audience is that they are watching a play, they will assume you're thinking as the characters on stage. Stop blocking yourselves with academic and intellectual clutter. Get out of your heads and into your bodies, feeling sensations and acting on those sensations and impulses. And then the detail, then it was just like rehearsal detail. But that's just like such good juicy stuff. So we started with, in the rehearsal space, Shakespeare's Restless World. Before we did that, though, we discussed Much Ado at the Globe for a minute. And Lawrence had his feelings about it. He thought that some people were playing an emotion, some people were playing a vibe, a feeling, instead of playing objectives and tactics and impulses. He thought the Beatrice and the Benedict were lovely, as did I. He thought that they were very successful. So, yeah. Always much to learn. And to know that there's people who are doing this professionally at the highest level and aren't always like extraordinarily successful is heartwarming and helpful. So, the item that was discussed in Shakespeare's Restless World was Treasons and Plots. It was a book called A Truthful Remembrance of God's Mercy by Carleton. And this was a book about the assassination attempts of Elizabeth I and James I. The death of a monarch or other leaders is very difficult. It brings up confusion and doubt about who will lead and how that would change society and everything. This book proved that God is on the English monarch's side because there were all these assassination attempts and they didn't pay off. They didn't work. The King of Spain and the Catholics and the Roman Catholic Church were usually behind all of these assassinations. And this was a common thing. There was always assassination attempts on the monarchy of all countries. France has lost so many kings. The kings and queens were frequently killed. Most information was communicated orally, especially for the lower classes. So like at the Globe, the groundlings, the ones standing in front of the stage, were probably talking about these things. Catholics were the enemies of the crown, agents of the Antichrist. Every king killer was a real possibility for a Shakespearean audience. So Macbeth killing Duncan the King would be a big deal. And who else kills kings? Richard III and then all the people in like the histories. But they would immediately in the audience be thinking of, oh, Elizabeth and James. I struggle with Christian murderers and assassins, because how can you profess to believe that thou shalt not kill, and then go off and kill? I struggle with it in war even, but at least in war you have Israelite examples in the Old Testament to say, well, there's war killings and then there's murder. So I don't know. It just, I guess people can justify whatever they want and they think that they're fighting a holy war, but it's just frustrating to me. But I should read, watch, or see The War Horse. It's playing at the whatchamacallit, the National right now. I don't think I'll get to. I was looking at tickets and they're expensive. War is stupid. People will justify whatever they want. We kept blocking the end. The relationship is revealed in the doing, not in the mood or the atmosphere. So always go back to the basics. What am I doing here? The intent is connected to the doing. Receive, react, recover. We talked about a shadow move, which is something that reveals what is going on in the inner. So it's really going on inside, like a poker tell. Like I might be calm and collected, but I might be like fidgeting with something, or like something like that. I played what's his name? Will in Big Fish, and I did this thing where it was a nervous tick, where it's like my dad's getting on my nerves, kind of thing. So that would have been a shadow move. Already applying it. Motivate that move, right? So if you need to move somewhere, or if you're moving at all, motivate it. Or in other words, act better. Circles are great for Elizabethan, because it's like the cosmos and how everything revolves around itself, and it's earthy and it's real. So use circles, walk all the way around, especially since we had this thrust stage. Use the circles. Tea break. Externalize the intimate. How do I feel about everyone getting married? How do I feel about my brother's arrest and his probable execution? The ending is quite kind of tragic for Don Pedro. He is unmarried. He has no prospects. The only other like woman in the play is Margaret, and she's already slept with Borachio in the play, or Borachia in our production. And so there's this, so she's not like a really good viable option, especially not for the prince. And so like he's got no one, there's no one no one waiting for him. Like his time in Messina is done, and his best friends are going to stay there too, and he'll probably go back to Aragon like he said he would, yeah, to pursue a different life out there, but he wanted to make sure that his boys were set. But yeah, and then he just like forgave his brother, is trying to rehabilitate him, and now he's gone and did this thing, so he's gonna get killed. It's just sad. Then we finished. Woo woo! Back to the top. No rest for the wicked. Your inner monologue fills the space. If you aren't having thoughts, the space dies. Think louder. Be really intentional with your thoughts. Be really specific. Have that inner monologue. Then we had lunch. Then we continued. Keep committing to the objective. Commit to the need to accomplish it. And that's all I had written down. That's all that I worked on. Well, all that I wrote that we worked on. So we did a little bit of the beginning, and it was good. And yeah, solid day. I had I had dinner with a friend afterwards, who'd been going through some things. And so overall, lovely day. But, shout out Sandridge. But I hope you're all doing well. And I hope life is full of pleasant surprises and warm hugs. Love, bye.